We're at a crossroads again. From here, we can see the cars coming in all directions. We can see the collapse of empire. It's imminent. Will it be the climate change that does us in first? A war triggered by hyper-nationalist idiots eager to put the vast hordes of the unemployed towards some profitable end? Either way, the way back is impossible. We cannot undo what has already been done. We cannot resurrect the dead witches. We can't tear their charred corpses off of the stakes, nor can we retrieve the mangled bodies of children from the steam-powered looms in England. We cannot bring the species we've lost back, nor can we pull all of that carbon out of the air. No one is coming to save us. No one can undo the harm that's been done. We're in a crossroads, but witches know crossroads very well. And those who come to meet us there, those who know what death is for, will help us. The writer, Peter Gray, in his profoundly transformative essay, Rewilding Witchcraft, put it this way: some will be afraid of this knowledge. Witchcraft should be liberated by it, liberated from petty concerns, so to pursue lives of beauty, liberated from the sleepwalking into death that our culture has made for us and for our children. So I counsel, confront death. For witchcraft to be anything other than the empty escapism of the socially dysfunctional or nostalgia for bygone ages, it needs to feel the shape of its skull, to venerate the dead and the sacred art of living and dying with meaning. We are all on the fierce path now. And later in that same essay he says, we need to offer the death rites in a culture that pretends that death can be cheated by buying the latest eye gadget or hooking ourselves up to plasma bags of young blood. These technological and scientific responses do not account for the wider environment which we do not control, but which now seeks to redress the killing balance, and is doing so with storm surge and wildfire and tornado and flood and drought, regardless of what is playing on your headphones or how high the gates are to your compound. I welcome this storm. Both the capitalists and the fascists have been screaming that our way of life is endangered. They're correct, and it's about fucking time. It is time that it be endangered. It is time that it go extinct. Our way of life slaughters species, poisons the air, and grinds human life into dust. This may sound like a threat. It is. It may sound like a call to arms. It is. Empire tried to make us into subjects, and capitalism tried to make us into machines. But regardless of how much power either of them have over us, the simplest truth is that we are not machines. We should start by removing all machine language from the way we would describe ourselves and extend that favor to others. Your body is not a machine. You do not process information. You don't store memories. You do not burn fuel. You might object, though. These are mere metaphors, right? Useful for describing things? But poets, bards, priests, therapists, and advertisers all know something that the rest of us are prone to forget. Metaphor is magic, and not all magic is good. Consider how Francis Bacon, the founder of the modern scientific method and much of the mechanistic worldview under which capitalism thrives, described nature in the role of man of science. He told them to hound nature in her wanderings, and you will be able, when you like, to lead and drive her afterwards to the same place again. Neither ought man to make scruple of entering and penetrating into those holes and corners when the inquisition of truth is his whole subject. Painting nature as a woman to be raped, entering and penetrating her holes, was more than a mere description of the industrialist's task. It was, if anything, the entire magical theory under which they operate. The inventor of the steam engine described his task the same way, defining nature as an intractable woman who must be forced into doing what her master commands. Describing your body as a machine reproduces capitalism's desire for you to be a machine. It affects not only how you see your body, but also how you treat it. Here's another quote from Silvia Federici's essay in praise of the dancing body. In our time, models for the body are the computer and the genetic code, crafting a dematerialized, disaggregated body, imagined as a conglomerate of cells and genes, each with her own program, indifferent to the rest and to the good of the body as a whole. Such is the theory of the selfish gene, the idea, that is, that the body is made of individualistic cells and genes, all pursuing their program, a perfect metaphor for the neoliberal conception of life, where market dominance turns against us not only against group solidarity, but solidarity with our own selves. Constantly, the body disintegrates into an assemblage of selfish genes, each striving to achieve its selfish goals, indifferent to the interest of the rest. She continues, to the extent that we internalize this view, we internalize the most profound experience of self-alienation, as we confront not only a great beast that does not obey our orders, but a host of micro-enemies that are planted right into our own body, ready to attack us at any moment. Industries have been built on the fears of this conception of the body generates, putting us at the mercy of forces that we do not control. Inevitably, if we internalize this view, we do not taste good to ourselves. In fact, our body scares us, and we do not listen to it. Your body is not the enemy. It's not an intractable machine always prone to breaking down. Your body is you. You are your body. Your body is the only way you experience the world. It is how you know love and pain. It's how you know hunger and safety. When you stop describing yourself as a machine, you'll then begin to also see the other machines which regulate your existence. No greater enemy of the body is there than a machine time, the clock. Under the regime of machine time, we wake not when we are rested, but when we have to go to work. We sleep not when we are tired, but when our clocks say we must. We judge experiences by the clock. That was a good hour spent. Those were 2 hours wasted. The time of empires, the time of machines. The time of witchcraft, though, is the time of the body, which is also the time of the earth and the moon. Women who menstruate know this truth particularly well. From Nikki Whiting's essay, My Resistance Will Be Bloody. I resist capitalism by not being productive. I resist by refusing to accept that my body or your body is a machine. Our bodies need to rest. Our bodies need time and space to heal, to purge, to grow, to be. Honoring my body shows my kids that my female body is not disgusting, but a cause for celebration. Blood is life. The blood that pumps in my body and your body every moment of every day is life. Your heart's blood and my cunt's blood. A bleeding woman is a powerful woman. A bleeding woman can grow a life in the hidden spaces of her body. A woman who resists hiding her body, her power, her sex, in her blood, lays bare her connection to the sacrality of life, of our flesh. Stop thinking of your body as a machine, but rather of a thing of flesh, bone, shit, skin, semen, and piss, and an inescapable truth arises. The body will die. You are your body, so you will die. By abandoning machine thinking, we are forced to confront our death and our decay. Machines don't die, they just break down. Your body will die, as will mine, and just as you and I shall die, so too will empire. When you reclaim your will, you can help kill it. Why did capitalism need to separate us from the land? Why does empire slay forests and lay down asphalt? Why are we shunted into tiny dwellings away from trees? Why are rivers and streams buried under pavement? We were told we were machines so we can work in factories. We were told that we cannot do for ourselves so that we would rely on empire instead. We were separated from the land so we would have no place to escape. When you stand with your feet on the earth, you are part of it. You are an animal, you are a being of will, and you are a wild, unruly, uncivilized thing which belongs everywhere. Transgress, trespass, put your body where it is not supposed to be, because it belongs everywhere that the world is. Borders cannot stop you. Fences will only slow you down. Prisons and schools and offices are there to restrain you. Do not be restrained. There is no greater teacher, no more powerful ally, no more loving guide than the land around you. Through your feet, you connect to the soul of the world and all who live in it. You are always already connected to the land, but you're supposed to forget. Your food comes from the land. The air you breathe is breathed out by forests and plankton. Your water comes from the sky and from below the ground. All you need is the land, and all you are is the land. Remember this, and you won't be able to abide its destruction any longer. Remember this, and you become, as in the words of Peter Gray, the witch, quote, created by the land to speak and act for it. That is the simple mystery. There are others. There is the magic of shapeshifting, not just taking on the form of animals, but that of the land itself. In a vale between two mountains of Snowdonia, on the shores of the lake where Caradwin sought the recipe for Awen, on a cliff where the red and white dragon were uncovered by Merlin, I learned this mystery. Forgive me my poetic abandon here. I don't know any other way to say this. I became at once the rain falling upon me, the rain passing through me, the stones soaked under my feet, the water in my boots, the lake before me, the rivers below the ground, and the sky crying the rain into the land. I've been this elsewhere too. It's easiest when there is the least amount of concrete, where nature still can be a bit raw, a bit naked. In places like this, you also have to be a bit raw and a bit naked. You're having sex with the land is having sex with you. And when you're done, when the spirits of the land have thrust their orgasm into your soul, you know what the land needs. It also knows you. It takes a part of you with it as it recedes behind you when you leave. It is like any lover. You are both changed. Capitalism needed to divorce us from the land because we were once married to it. We must become married to it again, seeking out its desires, following its lead. Against Francis Bacon's fantasy of raping nature, we must seek love. Here, more than anything, that receptivity that we spoke of earlier is exactly what we need. Nature is not your whore, but you might have to be nature's whore. I have told you what empire is and what it made of us, how we forgot that we are bodies and instead thought we were machines, forgot that we have will and instead thought we were mere subjects, how we were separated from the land, how we were fenced off, forbidden, excluded. I have also told you how to remember, how to fight the machine by becoming bodies again, how to fight you cannot by trying to anyways. And I have told you how to shrug off the prisons of empire by escaping into the land out of which you are composed. This is all witchcraft, perhaps the only witchcraft that matters. There's one more magic though. I'll impart this, the last weapon I know how to wield against empire. Remember, empire exists with our help. It hides and reproduces itself in our actions. Each time we call the police, empire lives again. Each moment we enforce a rule, empire breathes more power. We must starve it. Let's take the part of an empire called America. Empire exists only through you and I. America exists only through you and I. There's no such thing as America, only the relentlessly reproducing idea of America. An empire dies when it can no longer exert power over others. When its subjects are no longer subjects, it cannot enforce its will. That is, an empire will die when there is no one to do its will or to police the political order on behalf of it. Consider the slogan of Donald Trump's election campaign. In there is the magic of empire. Make America great again? It is the voice of a dying nation, screaming from its deathbed, marshaling its last forces to its side. It's really shouting at us, make me again. I said earlier that we reproduce empire. I also said that we can decide to prop it up as it falls. We can shore up its ruins or patch up its leaks. We could hold up the falling pillars. Well, we can also do nothing at all, too, trying to take as many of those that we love away from the toppling stones and plummeting beams. But we're witches. We know death because we walk along its threshold. We stroll its borders. We commune with its denizens. For some of you, it will be enough to know an empire is crumbling. You've probably been gathering seeds already to plant in the empty lots and kindling to light fires in the crossroads. Thank you. We will need gardens, and we will need fires in the ruins. Some of you have also been gathering roots and herbs. You've learned how to use poisons. You've learned how to use curses. You have sharpened your knives under the moon's white glow. You have mixed ashes with blood and dirt. You have thrown bones over graves and called to spirits who are also eager to help Empire fall. To you, I say thank you, and I offer you my aid. Empire has summoned its shadow. They begin to march, proclaiming the birth of a new nation, a new greatness. It is the same tired greatness that died in a bunker below Berlin, but not before slaughtering 10 million people with machine-like precision in prison factory camps. It is the same tired greatness that torched witches and tortured heretics in centuries past. Our last weapon, our best weapon, might be the magic of unveiling. We must see past what things appear to be, what they are. Chicanery, sleight of hand, illusion, those are not just the magic of the fraudster. It's the magic of the political order itself. Each one relies on the victim to make assumptions that everything is as it appears, to look away from the switch through distraction. The bigger the spectacle, the easier it is to fool the observer. The flashier the performance, the harder it will be to see what really happened. Look with your body, not just your eyes. See with the land, not just what is shown to you by the backlit screens. You can see through a disguise by dropping to the lowest part of your senses. You can also feel with your back, with all that is behind you, not just what is in front. As I mentioned with the proposed border wall earlier, there's often a more material force behind all of the politics and blusters. Humans are also animals. We know to move to better places when the resources run out. We migrate, we follow the seasons and the food. Animals know when great danger is awake in an area. We are no different, except that we've been taught not to listen to our animal nature. Feel that danger. Do something about it. Become bodies again. Embrace your will. Marry the land. It's time to be uncivilized. It's time to be feral. It's time to be witches as this empire crumbles. And it's time to help that happen.